Hello everyone, I'm Amy from Amy's Acrylic Artistry. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. Today I am doing a tutorial for beginners by beginners because this is the very first piece that I have ever resined. And it was actually a whole lot easier than I expected. So I figured, you know what, I'll post it as a tutorial and show you just how simple it really was. Safety is a must when it comes to using resin. Even if it says low VOCs or no odor, it can still harm your lungs no matter what it says. I actually got the, what do you call it? The MDS sheet from JDiction, just so that I could read up on it. And there are still harmful chemicals inside them, even in any resin. Like I said, there are many videos on YouTube from people that are using resin on a regular basis that did not use any kind of respiratory protection and have now developed some pretty severe symptoms. So please use a respirator. I just happen to have a full face one. It was James's, and so that's what I'm using. As well, you need to make sure that you have the correct filters on it. You need organic filters. I'll actually put a picture in right here. I ordered the filters on Amazon because the ones that James had were just for dust and particles. They weren't for organic matter. So it was actually my brother that recommended the organic filters because he uses epoxy resin all the time. Okay, so let's get into this. I will link a video at the end from my dear friend Jill, allegedly an artist, because she has a great video out. I watched it probably 5 times before I started, and it was super helpful. And one of the things I didn't realize was you need to mix your resin 1-to-1, but by volume, not by weight. So I'm not really sure which one is heavier, but I do know that I noticed right away when I was pouring that one of them is definitely heavier than the other. So go by volume. And there's also a great resin calculator. I will also put a link to that down in the description so that you can figure out exactly how much resin you need for each piece. So this is not a canvas, this is a floor tile. When we moved into our house 1.5 years ago, the previous owners left a huge pile of these white floor tiles. So it is, it's not completely smooth, which I actually really like with this piece because it looks kind of like marble. And now that I've got the resin on it, it looks absolutely fabulous. The dimension is just amazing. I'm so happy with the JDiction products. I love their pigments as well. So yeah, I've been using those for fluid art. I have a link down in the description how to mix JDiction pigments for fluid art, and I'm loving their resin. They've actually sent me more, and I've had quite a few people buy from my discount code, which is also down in the description for 10% off. And yeah, once you have your equal parts into your cup, it needs to be stirred for at least 3 minutes. I set a timer and just went by that. So I will fast forward and I won't bore you with 3 minutes of mixing because it's actually longer than what you think it is. So the next part to this is making sure you wipe off your tile or your canvas, get all the dust, any hair, dog hair, human hair, get it off before you pour your resin on there. You do not want it to get stuck. And as I was pouring and spreading, I could hear Jill's voice in my head. Slow, slow, slow. Slow and steady wins the race. And that's exactly what I did. And it turned out really amazing. So stay tuned for the dried results at the end. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below if you like this video. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope this video is helpful. One other tip that I would add in now that I've done a few pieces is to clean your tile or canvas with some rubbing alcohol. The only issue that I had with this piece was that the resin pulled away from the sides, and after doing some troubleshooting with Jill and with Millie, we determined that it was probably from the oils on my fingers. The alcohol really does a great job at getting any oils off before you put your resin on. I really checked this piece over thoroughly just to make sure that everything was level, it was even. Your resin will self-level, which is great. But then I got out my torch. You can use a heat gun too if you have one. I popped all the air bubbles and just really paid attention to look and see if there was any dust, any hairs, any particles that were stuck in the resin. After that, be sure that you scrape the undersides for any resin that has dripped. If you leave it and it hardens, it's really hard to get off afterwards. I did tape the underside of this, which helped with a couple of little drips that I had. And with the tile, the resin didn't really like the bottom, which was a bonus for me. A couple of the drips that I had just popped right off. But with canvas and where the tape was, it was stuck really hard, and it took me a good amount of time to get those drips off. So make sure that you scrape really well. You may have to cover your piece and come back and check for more drips. That's what I've done with future pieces. I didn't show the end part. Really all I did was I checked it over very, very carefully to make sure there was nothing stuck in the resin. I had some tweezers that I pulled out a couple of little spots of dust, and then I covered it with a large box just to keep any dust or hair from floating into the resin, and it actually dried absolutely amazing. So let's get to the dried results. Okay, here's the dried result. That's iridescent blue black, and TLP's Comet is the red part in there. It's just beautiful. I was rechecking for drips, and when I covered it back up with a box, it touched the sides. I was so upset. So I just sanded it down and then added another coat afterwards, but I was just pointing out there where the resin had pulled away. But the dimension in this piece, that the resin just makes it pop. The silver and the blue black, just the shimmer. I was so impressed with how this made the piece look so much better. So this piece I'm keeping for myself since it's the very first piece that I've done. I will be using it as a hot plate, and I have it in my kitchen, and I haven't had anyone over since we have been in isolation. It's day 5 for us, and I have 10 total, so January 5th I go back to work. But thanks so much to JDiction. I love your resin and your pigments, so check out my code down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.